Hey everybody, this is a hydronic in-floor heat system. I was able to do this on my place with the help of a plumber, a journeyman plumber, owns his own business, so experienced guy. Electric boiler. Anyways, he was just telling me through emails and on the phone how to bleed this system. I didn't understand him the first time and didn't quite get it exactly the way he wanted to. I couldn't find a lot of information online about this, not any detailed videos. But anyway, there's a fill valve that goes into the system. Right there, there's a valve on that. That just goes into my water supply. Then we've got backflow preventer, air bleed valve, expansion tank in the boiler. So what I'm doing is I'm filling with my fill valve. Could be done a different way. We've got two valves here, like garden hose valves, on each end of the boiler. It could be, you could take a garden hose and attach it to one end, fill, and then drain through another end. That's possible as well, but I've already got it tied in here, so I'm just going to use the fill valve. He said that was fine to do. Later on I'm going to add some anti-corrosion mix to the system. So there's my circulation pump there. I had it on and it was circulating, but it started to cavitate because I still had air in the system. So what I did is we've got to fill each zone one at a time. And when I was filling it up, I thought that that air bleed valve would vent off the air. And I filled each zone one at a time, like opened these zone valves one at a time. So I've got this one open because that's the one I'm going to start bleeding next. And I thought that it would bleed the air out, but then talking to him, I didn't understand him, and I've got to do it manually, get the large amounts of air out of the system. So I had opened up some valves and bled like some water out of there and stuff. The pump, I know, had got air in it. I don't know if it's still any good or if it cavitated really bad because I've been trying to circulate the system. He wants it to circulate for a while before I actually fire the boiler up. Anyways, so this is the proper way of doing it. I've got a hose here connected to the top fitting, like drain fitting on top of the boiler. This is out of the boiler. So when the system's actually working, it's going to circulate through here, through our expansion tank and air bleed valve, down through that pipe, down to the manifold, through these isolation valves for each zone of the floor, and then this is the return manifold. It's going to come back up through, that's where I've got the pump set up through the pump, then it's going to pump back through the boiler. So to isolate each zone, I've got the fill valve going through here where the expansion tank is. Can't go through this valve's closed. That's going to force it down through the manifold. All my zone valves are turned off. I've already filled the first zone here. I'm starting on the right hand side. This is the next zone I'm going to fill. When I open the fill valve, it's going to force water through here, back through the return manifold, up through the pump, through the boiler, and then out. I put this clear hose on, just with a garden hose fitting in the end there, so I can open this up. It's already open. I just got the fill valve shut off right now. Then I can watch bubbles come through this until all the air is purged out of the system, so it just can circulate it. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn this on. I'm not going to go full bore, but I'm just going to turn that fill valve on, get the system filling, and then we'll see water and air come out. And I've just got it going over to a laundry sink here. So you can see a steady stream there. See the bubbles coming out. There we go, purging all that air out. Lots of air coming out of this zone. So just a mistake. I'm not a plumber, and just didn't understand exactly what he meant when he told me how to fill the system and how to purge it out of air. So hopefully it didn't cost me a pump. If it did, I guess that's just the cost of experience. So we can still see lots of bubbles coming out of there. And I'm going to keep bleeding that until all the bubbles come out. So a few more there, lots of air coming out of this zone. Then when that one is bled, like my first zone here, I'll shut the zone valve off, so it's going to isolate that one and air isn't going to get into any of the other zones. Then I'll shut that one off, open the next one up, and just do the same process again. Watch all of the bubbles come out until I get a steady stream of water coming out the end. that hose there and into the sink, then I'll know that there's no more air in the system. If there is a few little air bubbles left, this air bleed off valve here will take the final amounts of the small amounts of air out, but it won't bleed off large amounts of air. It did bleed some off when I initially filled the system. I could hear it coming out of there. Also, a friend of mine's a power engineer, and he said that this valve on top here should only be opened about half a turn. If you do more, you can get water coming out of it. Not enough, and it won't let all the air out. So it will trap a certain amount of air. I guess this is an accumulator in here. It'll let a little bit of air in there, but it'll any amounts that you don't want in the system, it will bleed. So this is something fairly new to me. I've never built a system like this before, and I'm just glad I had a plumber helping me to do it. It's unfortunate that the first time I didn't bleed the system right, but this time I know exactly what he's talking about, and it's going to work good, I think, once I get this all done and I can start circulating it with the pump. I think this one's already bled. They're about 120-foot loops that I used, and it's been a couple minutes now, and I think this one's already down to a steady stream of water. I don't see any air coming out. So I think we're just about ready to do the next zone. But anyways, I didn't see I saw a detail, or pardon me, a video of a guy that was filling a system, but he didn't really explain in very good detail how he was getting all the air out. He showed opening up the valves one at a time and filling the system with water, an in-floor heat system. But I didn't see anything saying this is how you bleed the air out, this is how you isolate the zones so the air doesn't get into other zones and things like that. So that's why I'm making this video. I'm hoping that if there's any DIY guys out there that are doing their own in-floor heat, that this will help you, and hopefully your pump doesn't cavitate when you turn it on and draw air in and burn up. I don't think this pump is burnt up. It was still working and that, but it did get hot and it did make some noise, so I might have to buy another one. I don't know. Hopefully not. Alright, I think that one's pretty much done, so let's do our next one. Oh, yeah, I can hear that air valve, so a little bit of air got out through there when I turned the valve off. Turned that zone valve off. Okay, zone number 3 purging now. And you can hear I don't know if you can hear that in the camera, but I can hear air coming up through the system. There's a bunch there. See the bubbles coming out of there. That's what you're going to see. Lots of air purging out. Oh yeah. So, a little bit of rust and stuff from the copper pipes. Probably something from the black steel pipe that I got hooked up from the boiler too. Purging out of there. Yeah, look at all that air coming out of there. Excellent. That's good. I'm glad to see that. So as far as I know, it's perfectly normal to have a little bit of stuff like that. I know there's nothing in the pipes that are brand new when I installed them. That's probably a bit of flux and whatnot coming out of there. This system was dry pretty much all for just about a year now. I just started filling it here this month. Getting it ready to go. I've been working on other stuff in the house, so I haven't been at it. I haven't had time to do this. So one thing is that water that's not that clean, I'm going to wait until that's all purged out. I'll know that the zone should pretty much have no air in it when the water starts turning clear as well, so that helps. There we go. Most of the air is out now. Excellent. So this could be done, like I say, you could fill through this bottom valve here with a garden hose if you had some way to isolate it from the top one. It wouldn't work with this system as far as I can tell, because I'd have to have a different isolation valve to somehow force it through the system a different way. But working with my fill valve plumbed into my water system, this is working really good. And it looks like I've just about got this third zone all wrapped up. Excellent. So I'm going to post this video. Hit like if it helped you out, and comment. Feel free to correct me wherever I've made some mistakes here in the comments. The boiler cover is off because I was doing some work on it, and I'm going to put the cover right back on here real soon. And it's de-energized, the breaker's shut off, so don't worry about that. I'm not working on a live system here. But it will be as soon as I get this purged out. I'm going to put that cover back on, get the pump running again. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope this helped you. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.